Today, this evening, we are going to be analyzing showreels. So she just asked me, did I prepare everything? I prepared everything apart from having the sound off mute when we start talking.
Okay. Just reminding you. So thank you to Minerva Cameras, who is there in Instagram, and Paul Neoclassic, and Zelis. Oh, Paul, I remember you. Luis Diaz Blanco. Okay, so we are here today to speak about two video books, if we can, if not only one. That it all depends on, your questions and how we feel. Sometimes, it takes a little bit more time and we only can do one. But let's start, shall we?
Yeah, let's barrel on. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead and switch this off.
Was he the rat? Whose rat? Yours! You wanted to keep an eye on me, is that it? Make sure I'm not double-crossing you. The station started looking for a rat in the unit last week. So they're going to find me, or they're going to find him. You had too many eggs in one basket. And you needed to let one drop. And he was disposable, is that it? Mm-hmm. Melissa, sat the entrance exam at St. Bartholomew's. They've offered her a place, but not a scholarship. There's a lot of competition. The thing is, I need a pay rise. Katrina's 8.
Yeah, but she's not daft, is she? You said one, I've got to send the other.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yes, no, I'm not saying it is.
Clever kids will do well whatever they get. Look at me.
Yes, you're a great example to everyone. Of course, Neverson. That's... Hey! What's the matter with you? You said you only need one day off. I gave you enough time to play. I gave you a day. A whole goddamn day! What do you want, a brownie? No, thank you. How about a coffee? Coffee? Oh, no, you said never ever that stuff again. Actually, yeah. You did well on that one. How about a nice hard bath?
A 178B form for that device.
What are you talking about, a 178B? What? Oh shit.
Going somewhere?
Look guys, I know exactly how this works. I'm not saying nothing.
Hey Bob. Yes, Bill. When's the next episode of Doctor Who?
Oh, I believe it's tonight, Bill.
This guy's good.
All right,
Quentin.
Quentin, we have work to do, sir.
Yes.
We have work to do. You put together a video book, right? I don't know where it came from, or how you did it, or who you did it with. I said a video book, didn't I?
Yes.
I mean a showreel. It's the other button.
Yeah,
right?
good.
This isn't going to help you. This isn't going to help you. Look, with your unique characteristics, the way you look, the way you sound, you've got a lot of things going for you. One of the problems you've got is there are very few things here which show you at your best. Okay? You can put certain things down to having a bad day, but you can't put everything down to having a bad day. Okay? Quentin, you're gonna have to work on some stuff. Okay, so let's go through it.
Yes.
And see what we find. Okay.
The overall appreciation. There is also something that is the fixed there, right? That we have to also addressing that one.
There's a fix there, but there are more fundamental issues afoot than the fix there.
Yes.
Okay, the fix there is very specifically an on-camera acting thing that we've noticed in the past, where people get fixated on simply one thing, and it's
then there is no life and there is no authenticity, and then it just not works. It doesn't work, and that is because for many reasons. Normally it's the fear of the text that we're not going to remember. Other times is because we are worried about what the other actor is going to do, and we don't know very well what to do. And that happens because we didn't understand that all the work of a camera actor is really to show, or not really to show, but to share the thoughts. And if the thoughts are not there, before, during, and after, then you are just waiting for the lines and saying the lines, and that is a problem. Okay, that's a problem because perhaps other people cannot recognize why, but it doesn't matter. The thing is that the result is that there is not authentic. What we want is that we share, that we share with you whatever it is in your mind, and we don't see that here. So that is something that one has to work, that you have to work went into to be able to do it, easily all the time, because it's a little bit flat, the idea, and the imagination and the creativity is still not there. Okay, so let's
remember, whenever we look at showreels, we're thinking about three separate things. The first thing we're looking at is the scene or text or the character that you're playing. The next thing is how it comes across technically in terms of image and sound. And the third thing we're looking at is the acting. Okay, very often you can have two things that work and one thing that doesn't. Very often you can have all three things that work, and congratulations. And sometimes technically there might be an issue with sound, there might be an issue with picture, it might be too dark, for example. And sometimes it might just be that the things are out of order. Okay, so let's go through this and see what we see. Okay, right. So starting again from the top. Here we go.
Was he the rat? Whose rat? Yours! You wanted to keep an eye on me, is that it? Make sure I'm not double-crossing you. The station started looking for a rat in the unit last week. So they're going to find me? Or they're going to find him? You had too many eggs in one basket. And you needed to let one drop. And he was disposable, is that it?
All right, so what we got is your typical Guy Ritchie. What are you talking about? I didn't know they're going to have shooters. We're doing this Mockney kind of hard man, kind of East London thing. No problem with that. One of the problems we do have with it is we've seen it a lot, and we've seen it done really, really, really well, right? Where it's been very effective. But you were talking about Ray Winston, where you're talking about Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. We're talking about Jason Statham, where we're talking about power and presence and dangerousness. Probably the best example of this for you is to go watch Ben Kingsley in the movie Sexy Beast, who gives one of the most harrowing and brutal and best performances of his life. If you think he was good in Gandhi, think again. He is having so much fun playing that character because it's so not a character for Ben Kingsley. Mm-hmm. You remember that film? Mm-hmm. No, it's absolutely magnificent. The trouble is what you've got here is you've got something which is power, status, brutality, menace, violence, and all the rest of it. And you can't act it. You have to be it. That's what has to happen. Is that being of it will infect everything else you're doing. And we're all going to buy it. Why? Because that's what you're selling. What we got here is somebody who is physically uncertain and is playing angry. And the trouble is when you're playing angry and you're physically uncertain, it comes off as insecure, which is the diametric opposite of the objective of the character that you're playing and in the scene that you're playing it in. Thoughts?
Yeah, very well put. Yeah, it's curious, no? Because sometimes the physicality destroys, or also the objects, no, destroys exactly, what you want to do. Like this thing that you throw, there is things that they are fabricated that we don't feel it, that come from the guts of this guy. Guts,
tripas.
Guts of this guy. So we don't believe it. Even if if we close our eyes, we can understand everything, but what we want to understand is more on why you are there, the relationship you have with a girl that is there, and we don't know who that is, the relationship with the other characters. You say it in general, is acting in general, it's kind of an attitude, it's kind of, and we have to put it inside ourselves to be able to say it. And sometimes when we ask ourselves, how we, if we were in this situation, how I was going to do it. If you ask that, if I was the one, it gets really very soon very authentic, instead of, playing something that, that is kind of a cliche. So
this is something else. Remember, the first thing I said was the scene or text that you're doing, the technical aspects of it and the performance.
Yes.
And I have one more thing to add to that.
Mm-hmm.
If the performance isn't effective, the other two are completely irrelevant.
Of course.
We've seen things where you have something which is a very effective piece of acting, but the sound is low, or it's too dark, or it's in the wrong order, or it's just not appropriate for this person. The thing that you have to do, Quentin, is you need to look for something which is you. You need to look for something which you can play better than anybody else, right? Something which works for you, right? One of the things that we always talk about is there's no good and bad. Good and bad is a sort of cheap judgment of things, and also it's not particularly useful. It's better to say whether it works or it doesn't work, okay? The thing with this is, to be quite honest, it doesn't work. In fact, it will work against you, okay? Because there are things which are chosen in here which are so out of your character, as far as I can perceive it, that it's going to be detrimental, right? I don't know who directed this. I don't know whether you were coached. I don't know how much you've studied. I don't know any of those things. I can only take it on exactly as I see it.
But what I see is that it's not a very professional shoot. It doesn't matter if it's not professional, but if there is this truthfulness about everything, the girl there doesn't really help you much. The way that the camera is put is not also something that is helping you. I don't know if that was one of your first rehearsals, but. We need to really don't trust what we've seen, but not what we are feeling, but it's like trying to understand ourselves and what we would do at that moment, and then it's going to be much more authentic. Another thing that also makes me think that is not really professional to put it on the first one, because the first thing that we put is the most, it has to be the most attractive piece for you as an actor, so it needs to be out, because it's not really something that that is going to help you. So what we want at the beginning is a scene, not that it's an extreme, that not is in a limit, but something that is more you sharing your thoughts, right? And for that, the material has to be also good. And in here, it's kind of an attitude more than we've seen it also a million times. I don't know if that is from another movie or whatever, but we want to see you. I want to see, as Scott says, who you really can play, And I know that your appearance could perhaps, show some kind of, mafia guy or gangster guy, but still, I think that from the beginning, one has to put other things, because that it is a little bit outside us, all of us, unless you are a gangster, which I shut up. But normally, the people that the characters that we have to put at the beginning is really to answer the question that the casting directors and the directors are going to have when you are going to show the demo reel, which is he a good actor? How is he? What he can actually play? So more near you, the profile has to be something that it really gives the others the idea of the characters, but it cannot feel as a character. It has to be you. And so that is the difference. When we are doing theater, we are looking all the time for a character. In movies, we have, they want to see us how we are, and then more little by little you can also introduce things of the character. But at the beginning, the people that are going to see this demo reel, what they are interested in is to see the power of your acting by sharing whatever thoughts the character has, And so I would put something that is more next to you for this first bit, to actually answer to these questions, right? Okay, so let's watch it. Let's watch more.
Yeah, sure.
Louisa sat the entrance exam at St Bartholomew's. They've offered her a place, but not a scholarship. There's a lot of competition. The thing is, I need a pay rise. Katrina's 8.
Yeah.
Okay.
she's
So there is a problem here. You see, is all the time the camera is in your left. You have the character at right. So it would be a very interesting thing if you would share your thoughts, the thoughts of the character, with us to the left, right? Because that is exactly where you should be sharing with us, And so here you are all the time looking at him. Is what we were talking at the beginning, this fixed stare. So we have to control that to really be in our best, because there is a lot of we cannot look at someone for so long. Is something that we don't do. So again, we lose authenticity on what you are doing and your whatever we are seeing. So, and then there is these jump cuts, and the problem with the jump cuts that we have is that the casting directors don't like that. Why? Because they want to see you in a scene. It doesn't matter if it's, I suppose you did it because it was a problem of being long. But don't worry about that. If what you're doing is really compelling, we're not going to notice the time. So really, what we need is an acting job that is more compelling, more sharing. That is not because limits, but because you are there, and at the same time there is this life that is going on that is nothing to do with the person that you are speaking to, because that is how we speak. That's how we think on thoughts, how we try to understand what to say next. We are looking for things, and that is going to give us the life that we need to share with a camera. And that is something that that one first it seems a little bit strange, because what we are feeling is also this strangeness of a camera there, the person who is there, and so we are really fixed. But is the contrary. The character has to have life. This away from the other character, and this life is the thoughts that you're whatever you want to share with us. You see this uncertainty, this trying to look for the word. The things don't come easily in life when we talk, because we are still reflecting about that. This last week we were analyzing Anthony Hopkins. Last 2 weeks, twice we analyze things, and he does a very nice thing about how this person can have all these wonderful thoughts that we don't know whatever it is, and it's not showing it at all, it's containing it, it's restraining them. So we are really fascinated, when there is this time, it leaves us a space for us to actually imagine creatively, put on your face the words that we think that, for your signs that you want to share with us. So it's interesting that, it's an acting job that you have to do in camera and practice it, because if it doesn't come naturally, then it means that one has to be a little bit, forced to do it. You see, when I'm speaking, I'm not all the time looking at you. I'm looking for words. That's what we want. That is what it gives the authenticity that we need.
Daft, is she? You sent one, you've got to send the other.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
Exactly.
Yes. No. I'm not saying it is.
Clever kid.
You see, this is all the time fixed. You see.
Yes.
You can take the advantage in that little moment to go to us and have this worry and how I'm gonna say it and what he's gonna tell me and the comfortable being uncomfortable is something that that is nice, and it doesn't have to be big. It's just little things, because the other person is there, of course. So it's not like you are, but is just to share with us whatever is going on, okay? And if there is nothing that is going on, really we are bored with your acting. So we need that because that is what's happening in life. That is what it gives us the idea that we are spies,
I used to ask in classes what the opposite of love was. Most people would say hate. The real opposite of love is indifference. There's one thing that we have to be very wary of is making people indifferent to what we do, because people don't have the energy or the time or the will to really dislike something. So they're just going to go, We've got to remember that we, as people, are fairly unique in the world. There's nobody else quite like us in one way or another. Whether it's the way we talk, the way we move, and more importantly, the way that we think and we do things.
Every single person is like that.
Absolutely.
You too.
And one of the things that we have to do is actors, and this falls into the importance of the thing that we're going to choose to do, is we have to find something that is as close to us as possible when it comes to being an effective thing that we can perform between action and cut. Because if we don't do that, then we're truly lost. Okay? Acting isn't an art. Acting is a technique. And like any technique, if it's well enough executed, it will be confused with art. Unfortunately, this idea of us having to do something which is radically different from ourselves, it might appear like fun. It might even be the reason that we got into it all in the first place, to be somebody who we're not. I understand that. You're not in it to be somebody who you're not. You're in it to do things that you wouldn't normally do. Because it's a wake-up call for everybody. We can't be somebody else. We can only pretend to be. Going back to the book.
You're a great example to everyone. Of course, Neverson. That's... Hey! What's the matter with you? You said you only need 1 day off. I gave you enough time to play. I gave you a day. A whole goddamn day! What do you want, a brownie? No, thank you. How about a coffee? Coffee? Oh, no, you said never ever that stuff again. Actually, yeah. You did well on that one. How about a nice hard bath?
A 178B
Okay.
form for that device.
Right. You're doing a staff sergeant with an American accent. Okay. We touched upon this before, I think, in another with another show reel. One of the problems that we got is that if you start out with what is your normal everyday accent, and then you go to an American accent, particularly in a shouty American accent, you better be bloody perfect. Otherwise, everybody's just going to hear the mistakes, right? This is not something that we got from into, the imitating it of, once in a while off the TV. This is something we really have to work hard on. This is something that you got to go speak to an American or somebody who's extremely good with American accents, who can hear the errors and beat them out. You got to get them out of there. The thing is, if we really need to convince somebody that we can do a flawless American accent, and if that's the market we're aiming for, which I'm not suggesting that it's yours, what we should do is that's the first thing that should go at the top of our show reel. Okay, so people go, oh, wow, this guy's American.
But he has to work a little bit more on his American accent.
Well, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah, he cannot put that in the beginning. That's what I mean.
No. And you got Lee Emery, who was in Full Metal Jacket, who is the definitive performance. Why is it the definitive performance? But because he was a drill sergeant. He was a drill sergeant. He had an actor who was supposed to play the drill sergeant. Lee Emery was training the guy to be the drill sergeant. And Stanley Kubrick, because he's not the most empathetic man in history.
No, he didn't like actors.
Well, no, it's not about that. It's just he had no tact, no grace, no nothing like that. So he just brought the real drill sergeant in to do it. And was he right in doing that? Well, unfortunately, yes, he was, because the drill sergeant gave the most extraordinary performance, and it was utterly authentic. And that's what you're fighting against. You're fighting against something that we have all heard, and we've heard in the most authentic way possible. From the way that the voice is produced, from the way that the way it sounds, from the way it sings, all of those particular things. And if you can't pull that off and get that right, poof, then we got trouble.
Yes.
Yes.
We have to be a little bit more cautious, Quentin, about what do we put in our video book. We have to really be proud of what we did, and we have to really be aspire to be professional and to do it better. And if there is something that we don't like, because I'm sure that there is something that you, well, I don't know you, but I suppose that you are not really convinced, since you sent it here for us to review it. So you are right. Your intuition is right. No, that is not to show yet. It's nice to go into the limits. It's nice to to do things to understand you better and to understand what you can do and you cannot do yet. Because everything one can do it. Okay, I mean, I'm convinced that but some things deserve some more time to be able to get it right. And so we have to work on it. And sometimes the people are asking me, well, I want a video book. Perhaps it's not the moment yet. I know that the people want money. I know that, but if you knock in a door and this door sees that is a problem, because they're going to see, okay, so that he's not ready, and they're putting you in a place of the people, they are still not professional, which is a pity, because then to open again this drawer and give you another opportunity, that takes a while for people. They're not going to see enthusiastically your material, because you're going to say, okay, yeah, that's the guy. Well, let's see, you know what I mean? And so we have to surprise them by the things that we really are proud, and have this professionalism in us when we are doing everything. I mean, we have to try, and we have to start from something, and it's good that that we do that. But to show it is another thing.
Yeah, but what's happening right now is that people have the access to go out and shoot something, put it together, edit it. 25 years ago, that was an impossibility. You could not do it. You could not pull it off unless you had plenty of money. Now anybody with a cell phone and a bad idea can run out and shoot something.
Yeah.
And the problem is, it's a completely false economy. We have the great democratization of digital filmmaking, which means that everybody's carrying a 4K camera in their pocket. Fantastic. It doesn't mean there's more great movies.
Yes.
It's like that thing we always say is, if you want what you need to create the greatest film script in the world, or write the best book, you need one of these. You don't need software. You don't need programs. It really, if this is all you've got, this is enough The problem that we have is we have all of the tools, but the tools don't make the product.
Yes.
The tools don't do the job. The tools are there to make the person who knows how to do the job do the job.
Quentin, our idea is just to protect you and for you to understand that there are things that are going to harm you if you give it like us, and we are not people that they want to harm you at all. And I don't think that is to harm you at all.
No,
what we want is really for you to think a little bit more, to think a little bit more about everything that you do. Each step has to be professional as much as you can.
There's another thing is that this is another terribly cruel truth, Quentin. Most people won't care. Most people won't give a damn. They won't care. You're just another guy. Just another guy with a showreel that doesn't work.
Yeah, you have to.
And the thing is, the reason that we're taking this time over it, as we take over with everybody that we can, is we're trying to tell you that we do care, and we're trying to tell you what you need to do to move forward. What you need to do to move forward is really work out why you're doing this, find out the things which are closest to you, work out whether you can play them effectively, and work on them. For example...
like the accent,
Yeah, like the accent. For example, people go out and they shoot short films, and they shoot stuff for their showreel and everything else, and they do it with less preparation than they would do if they had an audition or a casting. Right? There's a reason why plays take weeks and weeks and weeks to rehearse. Right? First of all, they have to be able to get it so they can go from beginning to end. The whole take, if it was like in movie terms, the take lasts 2 hours. I mean, they need to get it to a stability where it's not going to fall apart when they run it. That's one thing. The other thing is, in rehearsal, the objective is to find the things that work. Okay? One of the things that we see consistently here is there's the first question in any given scene, which is, what am I doing? What am I trying to achieve? Right? And how am I doing it? There's like, what do I want? Am I explaining? Am I justifying? Am I confessing? Am I torturing? Am I attacking? Am I, any one of those particular things? And what happens in that is then that is manifested itself in the performance.
Analysis of text is what we need to do.
Yeah, we should do that one of these days in English.
In English, because we have plenty in Spanish. But
I think we did it once in English. I can't remember. But anyway, Ugo says, "Hi Scott and Assumpta, how do you train it?"
Well,
how do you train it? Excellent question. How do you train your dragon? How do you train it? Well, you have to start out simply. You do it in a place where you don't feel like you have to desperately try and be the best actor in history from the start. That's really important, because this idea of being a good actor is impossible. You can't be a good actor. You can only be effective in the moment doing what you're doing. Okay? So it's a great point of relief that everybody should have. Don't try to be a good actor. It's impossible. It's like trying to be a good footballer or a good singer. Have you heard good singers? They just sing louder than everybody else, and they're annoying and nobody likes them. Right? It's like that. There's always one guy in school who sang, and you're like, oh, just shut up. Honestly, please be quiet. You can't be good, but what you can do is you can be effective. Let's get back to where we were, okay?
Yes, you can be effective. To be effective, Hugo, to answer a little bit more, you have to prepare, and prepare and try again and understand for you, not because they are telling you, not because someone wants it like that, not because they are directing you. And that takes a little bit of a while, There's people that get it immediately. There's people that take a little bit more time. But, that doesn't matter, because everybody has it. Everybody is a human being. Everybody has thought about things. Everybody, you know what I mean? So it just, it's a question of relocating yourself in front of a camera and understanding that the camera is your best friend, is your, is the witness of whatever you do, is your, it's really is there for you to share things. And when you get it, is, thousands of students that we had, there is this moment where they get it, and then they don't want to leave it. They want just to do more and more and more. So that is where we have to go, because where to go, right? That's
you know what happens when people get it? When they get it at the end, do you know what they say? They say, "Is that it?" You go, "Yeah, that's it." That's all? Yes, that's all. Everybody thinks that there is this great mountain to climb that if you stick climbing long enough, you'll get there. Listen, the only thing we're trying to do is to imitate real life in a fictional context. As Sanford Meisner said, act truthfully under imaginary circumstances. I think that's wrong. I don't think it's truthfully, because we could debate the truth all day. What we're really doing is we're attempting to be authentic under imaginary circumstances. That's what we're trying to do. Now, that authenticity is something that only really we can know and understand, because it's something quiet and intimate, and it's something personal. That authenticity is something which is very, very close to us, that nobody else possesses in the world apart from each individual.
Yeah, and only then you're original. Only then, you are a creator. Only then, because it's the best material is yourself, and everything that had happened in your life is different, and so the way that you react to things, the way that you think, it's different. It's very similar, but and that is a lot of attraction for us, to understand you. So if you're able to be there, controlling what you do is already, you already won. So that is what we do in our classes, and little by little, believe me, Hugo Alberto, believe me, you can get it. So it's not it's not like a magical thing that happens. Is something that is with work, and sometimes people have it easier than others, but you can, you are the same.
Let's get back to where we were.
What are you talking about? A 178?
Okay, technically this is very quiet. Okay, this is technically very quiet. I've got everything up full. Okay, so look, this is one of those other things that pops up, that not only it's about 6 points lower than everything else. You have to, whenever you're editing this, if you did it, somebody else did it, you got to do it with headphones, you got to get the sound all correct. If you got a meter at the side, make sure it's around minus 12 decibels. That's the story Morning Glory. There's nothing else to it. Because the trouble is, you don't want anybody to turn it up. Look, we're in a situation where I can't turn it up here. Okay, I can't make this any louder.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
those are the things that make it professional. See it again, and see, oof, that is what's happening here. But why that is very low volume. Why is that? Let's find it out. Okay, I can solve it like that. Well, that takes time. Yes, that is something that that's why we compare things to the good. What we want is to hear it. It's what we demand. The first thing is audiovisual. So what we want is, and we can tolerate bad image but not bad sound. So please see what you can do about that. Okay, normally it's a question of of numbers, of decibels, like he says, like Scott says.
Okay.
B, what? Oh shit.
Going somewhere?
Look guys, I know exactly how this works. I'm not saying nothing.
Hey Bob.
Hey, yes, Bill.
When's the next episode of Doctor Who?
I believe it's tonight, Bill.
Okay.
This is an amazing shot because it doesn't benefit anyone.
Any of you three.
Any of the actors there. It's bad for all of you. It's bad for the guy on the left because there's too much air. It's bad for the girl in the middle because she looks like a hobbit, and it's bad for you on the right because, well, it is where it is. It's just not good for anybody.
No, it's bad directed, really, and also it's bad acted because everyone is playing an attitude, and I don't understand why he doesn't run away, instead of being there. And he has all these nervousness at the beginning. Then she stops because you talk. I mean, it's really first thing, first thing on truthfulness. You have to believe yourself. Okay, so if you are there, and that is a good thing for you. If you are there and you feel uncomfortable, it's because something is not right. Believe on your instincts because they are right. And sometimes they put the camera in places that, they are young or whatever, but we need to do better, and we need, to also collaborate and say, hey, I don't feel good here. Why you're putting the camera there, and you know what I mean, and trying to understand the shot, because if you don't believe it, then we are not going to believe it.
Yeah, one of this. Look, for all the actors out here, here's a very quick 101, a beginning starter for where you put the camera, right? If you're interested in the person, try and put the camera at eye level with the person, okay? If you want to make the person seem more powerful, you put the camera below, so you're looking up at the person. If you want to make them seem weaker, you put the camera above, so you're looking down at the person.
Those are the basics things.
The absolute simplest thing that you can do.
You can do, and the ABC of everything.
Yeah, it's like, look, I'm going to put myself in shot here. Okay, this is me in shot here. If you, no, it's not going to work because I can't tilt the camera. That doesn't work. But the idea is that you very simply want to start from there. Putting it below for everyone, okay, fine. But then you've got the composition of the shot. You've got the idea, like if you're going to do symmetry. Do the person in the middle, the other two people looking directly in like that. So at least there's an aesthetic to the shot. Because otherwise, we don't know what we're supposed to understand here. Okay, that's just the story. Between you and me, that every single director, when they go and put the camera on somebody, they have to ask themselves, what do I want to try and do? Perhaps it's somebody who's powerful. I want to make them seem weaker. Okay, the shot where you're in the interview and the shot's above you, that's not a bad shot. That shot is designed to make you look small, make you look weak. Okay.
Yeah, in the office, you mean?
In the office, yeah, that might be the way it happens there.
Yes.
But the other thing is, if you've got a confusing, muddy shot like this shot is here, we can't work out what the hell's going on because nobody's telling us.
No, and we get confused, and so that is not a good thing to put in any video book, okay? So, any demo reel. So, that is also something that, we don't see you, we see the girl, and we see that the girl doesn't act well because, the shot is very badly directed, and we know. So nothing works.
Yeah, and also the comedy that you're trying to get out there is relatively sophisticated, okay? The curious thing is that you appear to put your hand over what would be the microphone, and unfortunately, you don't have a microphone there. It would have been a good idea, you know what I mean? To actually have a mic, so you're talking like this, and all of a sudden you go, listen, I think what we have to, we can't do it like that. So then you would come back, and then you come back to the mic. It's a nice little conceit. It works, right? I have to say hi to Jim. How the hell are you? Let's keep going.
Bill.
This guy's good.
What? He says this guy is good?
He says this guy's good.
Okay, so be careful about that, because we were thinking the contrary. So it's like,
well, no, I come back to the thing. It's look, we don't deal with good or bad. There's a lot of people who'd be considerably less generous than what we've done, but they certainly wouldn't take as much time or have as much input into what it is you need to do.
Quentin, I hope I had something good to tell you, and I'm going to tell you right now that you have a lot of good things to tell you. I mean, your physicality is, you're tall, you can be very imposing, you have an easy thing for British things, so you can do also a lot of co-productions. Your particular way of being is really particular. So you have a difference, and you have a big market, and you should fight for it. But really going from the don't let these things happen, because if something is good, then we're going to notice it. But if it's bad, then it's not this bad, is that it's going to harm you. If you put something that the people are not going to think, they're going to think, okay, so okay, so no, we don't want that.
No, and in answer
you
to,
can have it.
In answer to it, if there was one simple acting tip that I would give everybody here, is that when you have something to do, ask yourself, what am I doing in this particular scene? What am I trying to achieve? What's my goal? And how am I doing it? Am I persuading? Am I seducing? Am I confessing? Am I declaring? One of those particular kind of action verbs what are called gerunds or gerundios in Spanish. I learned the word in Spanish before I learned the word in English because, of course, I'm educated in the British comprehensive school system, which means I may be able to speak English, but I sure as hell don't understand it. One of those particular words, and that's what you play. That's the thing that you play with sincerity, directness, and a degree of uncertainty, because you're just going to let happen what happens.
Yeah, if can you put again this shot where they are the three of them?
Yeah, let's enjoy this.
Because you see this thing, that is also a little bit of a problem. I think is the same director. I would say it's the same director. I mean, I dare.
They need a bit of a slap between you and me.
So no, let's have please the one in the streets of the three.
What are you talking about? A 178B?
Okay.
Oh shit.
Okay. So the problem here, I mean, we can tell a story, but the problem with telling a story is that, okay, we're going to put the camera here, we're going to put whatever the director wants to. Okay. But, you want that after for a video book, for a demo reel. So you have to choose if you want that in your demo reel or not. It's simple as that. They can do whatever they want with the camera. Of course they can do it, but it's not going to be something that's going to be helpful for your demo reel. That's all. So I don't know in which conditions and why you did this little scene. Perhaps, it was a short of someone that, came out of the school or, whatever, and they wanted to do, weird shots because they wanted to show also the building there and, whatever. But that is not something for our demo reel.
No.
That is something that you can, have it as an exercise, but what we want is to see you and to see you in the good, capacity, which is, camera more or less there. Why is that? Because, that's what the people want to see, they want to see. Sometimes we shoot a lot of things. Look, when they shoot a lot of things and nothing is for our demo reel. And that was what happened to me when I was, when I went to New York and LA. That was 1982, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1988. I've done a lot of movies as a protagonist already, in 1988, and I couldn't find good shots for me to put in the video book. They were all too general. They were all too... Why? Because what it helped the others to tell the story is not what is good for us to tell about ourselves as actors. Sometimes, and that is why, the close-ups are really, still now the best instrument for an actor to play in, because there you can see the thoughts, and they can see your choices, and they can see, and so also you have to have a little bit of a lens that also favors you, like right now we have a very nice lens, and with enough distance that we are easy in the eye. So those things are something that one has to understand, that sometimes we shoot things that is good for us to do exercises, but not to put in the demo reels. And the difference is, can I see you well? Can I hear you well? Can I actually have moments where they are all mine? The camera is really taking care of me and loving what I'm saying, and really being there as a witness of whatever you want to share with us. If you don't feel that way, then is something that, action scenes, things like stream in a video book are not really, we're really sometimes saying that, that we have a little bit of a problem with things that they are very extreme, right?
Well, it's one of the things that you get is you don't want to see torture, you don't want to see any form of violation, and all forms are definitely off. You don't want to see people screaming and crying. You don't want to see people, in pieces about their dead baby. You don't want to see anything like that, because if it doesn't work, it's embarrassing, and if it does work, by its very nature, you don't really want to watch it. And certainly you want to watch it less outside the context of a narrative, because they haven't paid the price they need to pay for us to sit through it. When I say they, I mean the people who are making the film, the TV show, or the short, whatever it might be. And we've seen a lot of sort of short films and a lot of showreels where there's just and you're like, okay, fine, okay, moving on, right? It doesn't help anybody. Not that you have this here. This is not the issue here.
No, but
apart from the first scene, which I guess you put there because you thought you're strongest. The trouble is, if we've got a scene in which we're very strong, powerful, violent, and dangerous, and we're not strong, powerful, violent, and dangerous, then we come across as the exact opposite. Is what it does is it becomes mawkish, and it becomes something which is tough to watch.
My advice for you, I would say that instead of playing characters, just try to find yourself into the camera. Try to really communicate with the audience, with the spectator, with your text, and having whatever thoughts that you might have, really agile, really that whatever that is there can also influence you to have another idea, to do another thing from take to take. This fluidity is when you start feeling like that, is when you're gonna feel that, yes, that I'm proud for what I did. Sometimes we don't remember what we did, because we are so much focused on whatever that is there, and the questions, the answers, whatever we have in our head. Well, you want to find experiences like that when you are really lost on your thoughts, and off the scene is gone, and is this kind of commitment, and passion for what you are doing that is going to give you really, so don't look for something external, a character to look, but
well, one of the things is that a lot of the times people don't really have something to say about something because they really don't know what to say. They got nothing they can say, which is usually because they don't know how to begin to work with somebody. One of the things that we've done very often foolishly is we never give up on people, and we never give up on actors. The reason for that is we work with so many people over, probably 20,000 hours of working with actors, is that we know that one day the actor can turn around and surprise us and surprise themselves. Yes. And we have been consistently wrong when we've been like, I don't know why they bother. I don't know why they do it. And then one day they come in, exactly, and then it's all changed.
I mean, it happened to us all the time. You know what I mean? So one thing that we know is that there is no judgment that I can do about you. I'm thinking that you're very capable of doing it. And
highly employable, for goodness sake.
Yes.
I mean, like somebody like me or somebody like her, we have this like slim bar of like from Europe, Southern Europe, and that's it. And then you can fool in virtually every single the rest of the planet, for goodness sake.
Exactly.
And the other thing is that it's important that that we see different people, different faces, different representations. It is important, but what it needs is the people who are very good and very effective. Because otherwise people are going to just say it's stunt casting, and that's not good for anybody.
It's the time for diversity, so it's very good for you, and I'm sure that you can, that you can do it. There is no doubt on me about that. But be careful with who you do things. Mm-hmm. Be careful with who you're going to.
You need to be working with people whose criteria and whose taste and whose judgment you trust. You need to be working with people who have your best interests at heart. People who are going to be honest with you, and people who it's not only honest, it's also, look, there's a lot of the time that people direct actors from the point of view of don't do this, don't do that, don't do the next thing. The real problem is you can't direct people from a negative. You can't say don't do something. What you have to do is offer them something that they can do and will give fuel to the thing that they're doing. I when I was an actor, when I was at drama school, I had a teacher, many who would say, stop thinking, Scott. Stop thinking so hard. Stop analysing everything, right? Unfortunately, that's who I am. It's the light. And he said, let there be light. And there was light.
That was nice, huh?
And it was awesome. It was very good. And if I go, let there not be light. Let's do that again. Let there be light. Thank you. So the trouble was they told me to stop thinking. You can't stop people thinking. It's like one of the things that we tell people we're not interested. We're not interested in you being relaxed. We're not interested in you concentrating. You can't concentrate. It's like the second chapter in Stanislavski's An Actor Prepares, concentration. Circle of concentration, I think it's called. The first one is relaxation of muscles, which is the other thing which isn't important.
It's not important
It's
at all.
not even slightly. So this idea of concentration, don't worry about it. If it's important, you'll be concentrated. You can't try to concentrate. It's like trying not to think of elephants. Don't think of elephants. Don't. And all you're doing is you're thinking of elephants. Elephants on bicycles. Elephants like, sort of like playing water polo.
Pink elephants.
Pink elephants, blue elephants, tiny elephants. Tiny elephants dancing across the top of the screen.
Elephants,
I wish I had a button I could push in them.
Elephants of marble, elephants of...
You know? How do you get elephants out to the theatre?
No, I don't know.
You can't. It's in their blood, right?
Okay.
That was a good segue into a joke, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, so listen, Quentin. And this goes for anybody else out there who feels insecure, who feels like there's something that they need to know, right? It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. If you just want to ask somebody a simple question, they won't give you a time of day, don't associate with them. It's a waste of time, okay? There's a lot of people out there who have very, very limited knowledge, very limited experience, and very, very limited in the tools that they can offer you that will make things better. Okay, that's a given. They're more worried about themselves than they are about you. Okay, that's for a million different reasons. But you have to choose the people who have your best interests at heart. You have to choose people who are who pretty much have more confidence in you than you do. That's a common thing amongst human beings in general.
About human beings that care about others.
Well, it's a kind of important. It's a kind of important thing. You took the time to do what you're doing, and you know you're going on ahead, and that has to be, I salute you. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, and I will tell anybody that they want to do this, they're absolutely bonkers. There's absolutely nothing in this which is easy. Nothing in this which is fun. There's nothing in this which is.
Yes.
Well, at the end of the day, the thing that you got more than anything else is job satisfaction.
Yeah.
The idea that you did something well.
So, yeah, exactly. That's what it makes you proud. It makes you, that you want to show.
But the thing is, you need to know what well is before you can appreciate it.
Exactly. Yes. Sometimes you don't. The problem is that you don't know. What you have to do and what is like. Well, I don't know. It's something that you're gonna discover it. When you compare yourself with other people, when you not other people on the acting, but on how they get to somewhere. And the answer most of the time is time and effort, dedication and commitment.
Yeah, we have to say.
To Valentin Toribio from Bolivia, Santa Cruz.
Yeah, Santa Cruz, Bolivia. We did a course there.
Yes.
Last time, when was it? 2011?
Yes.
I don't know. It was 2011. We were in Bolivia. Lovely people. We always had a wonderful time.
Very nice time.
Time in Bolivia. It feels very strange being a Scotsman in Bolivia speaking Spanish to Bolivian people.
Well, it's strange because nobody saw it.
Well, it's great. It's great. Look, this is if there's anything that's wonderful that we will never ever take for granted is the fact that what we do and what we have done has allowed us to travel all over the world. As teachers, we've taught in 8 different countries in about 4 or 5 different languages, and between us we've worked in 24 different countries in 6 different languages. I only speak 2, you speak 6 languages.
Yes, but anyway, Portuguese.
Yeah, your Portuguese is very rusty.
Very rusty. I would say only 5.
Muito oxidado. Muito oxidado.
No, oxidado no es.
No?
I don't know. It's another
If anybody
word.
knows how to say very rusty, Muy oxidado in Portuguese, let us know.
Anyway,
Quentin, that's it. So, thank you for sending us the thing. You have to be careful where you're going to train and with the people who you're going to work with. I would suggest that you do your best to try and work out the sort of actor you want to be. You have to realize that who you are as a human being, as a person, as a man, is the one thing that everybody's going to be interested in seeing because it's uniquely yours. And then you start from there and work out. What you don't start from is something which is radically different from you, and then you try to work back, try to work out how to get back to normal, you know?
Well, thank you very much for watching us.
Muchísimas gracias.
People in YouTube, people
Valentin,
in Instagram, in Facebook,
in LinkedIn and Instagram,
LinkedIn.
and all over the world.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you again on Thursday, next Thursday. You know that every Thursday we have our classes in English.
Well, our analyses. Crystal says, great advice as always. Thank you. Yeah, Crystal. Crystal. She's going to work one day, and she was like, "Oh, what do I do?" You know, there should never be any. We should never have fear to ask for something.
Yeah.
You know, because you know what happens when you ask for something. There's a good chance you're going to get it. I'm not saying give me your Ferrari, but to call upon somebody's experience or what their point of view. Sometimes we don't have the answer, but we go, let's try and work that one out. You know, that happens a lot with agents and look.
People, they like to discover people.
Jasmina,
thanks for this. It's been very interesting.
Yes.
Thank you, Jasmina.
Jasmina, we have your video book, which I'm looking forward to analyzing.
In Spanish or
it's in Spanish,
English?
but Jasmina is obviously quite bilingual, but probably doesn't speak English that often. That's what I would say. And as I always say, when somebody speaks a very, very clean English, when there's a mistake or when there's something it's like it seems huge. It's like wearing a wedding dress and you've got like you've got like strawberry sauce on it. You can't see the dress, all you see is the stain. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's very interesting because Jasmina is definitely one of the most castable people I've ever seen.
That's nice. So we look forward to seeing you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
And she speaks Catalan.
Have a very nice. Oh, yeah, really?
Claro.
Okay, good. Have a very nice weekend.
Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to the theater.
We're going to the theater, so we're not going to be with you. That's true.
Yeah. So we'll do
Spanish,
a
people.
reportage from the theater. An old friend of the Familia de Cine, Susana Inés Pérez, is performing tomorrow in Madrid, which is something that we desperately try to do these days is to see as many things as we possibly can. Yesterday we went to see a wonderful film called
La Contadora de Películas.
La Contadora de Películas, which in English is called the
Film Teller.
Yeah, the Film Teller, which is wonderful. And it's going to win a ton of awards, trust me.
It's a very nice movie.
All the actors going to win awards. The movie's going to win awards. The cinematography is going to win awards. The catering will probably win Best Sandwich of the Year.
It's going to
really
open
impressive.
in November, so it was like a professional. So the producers were really, trusting our instincts and whatever we feel now.
All I can say is perhaps they'd be annoyed if I was talking about this if it was bad, but it's not. It's
a very good movie.
It's a great movie. Wonderful acting, beautifully cast.
Yes, and what is the actor? He does a great
Antonio
job.
de la Torre.
Antonio de la Torre does. By the way, I have to call him because he's really, really good.
Yeah, call him.
With a lot of work, really.
He's playing a Chilean, a working class Chilean man, which is
not easy.
Which is a big ask, you know.
Okay, thank you. See you next Thursday and on Monday, the ones in Spanish, right?
Absolutely, and until then, upwards
and
onwards. So.
Well, it was very nice. It helped.
So that happened. This is one thing I have to say for people who are out there in internet land. Somebody just sent me a showreel in Spanish, but the entire video in an email. Fortunately, it wasn't 300 megabytes, but it was pretty big. Okay, if you're gonna do it, send me the link or send me the file by WeTransfer. And you remember, you can always send it Scott@familiadatini.com, as you can see it there. It'll also be in the description of the videos.
Yes. It's someone that asked me, and I said to send it via email.
Oh, I see. So it was you that did it.
No, it was him who did it.
No. Maybe you're the one who asked for the video.
I asked to send it to you. Through
I
email.
see. Okay. All right. So your fault.
It's my
So
fault.
don't do what she tells you.
Exactly.
It's just it's not that hard. Just ignore her. No. And it's very interesting. About Quentin's reel.
Yeah, I mean,
because most people aren't gonna. They're just gonna go, all right, whatever. They're not gonna say anything. They're not gonna offer any advice. They're not gonna say do this, do that. They're not gonna say this is why it doesn't work. They're not gonna say why that shot is awful. They're not gonna say what's the problem with the sound there. They're not gonna go, this is the wrong role for you to be playing. Your shouty most is not necessarily the best just because it's the most different from you. It's not impressing anybody.
Yes.
Anyway,
I hope, Quentin, if you're still there and you're looking at that video, because he didn't come today.
No,
right?
he didn't come today. I tried to get in touch with him, but I didn't hear back from him.
Okay, so if you're watching that now, I hope that we've been useful to you. That's what we always want to be. And I hope that it illuminated some of the trust on yourself, trust of on how. I hope that you felt that way. I couldn't comment with you, but that you felt uncomfortable. When you feel uncomfortable, you just you have to solve that problem. Because it's a resistance to something, and then we're gonna see it.
Yeah, and when somebody feels uncomfortable, we feel uncomfortable, and the reason you feel uncomfortable is basically because you haven't decided exactly what it is you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because the way that acting works, there's some aspect of it which that isn't clicking. There's something that you haven't quite got a handle on.
Yeah.
Okay, and you need to do that before you move forward. You certainly need to do that before you start
editing
when
showreels.
that happens. What?
When you feel good.
Yeah, when that happens, because all of a sudden you have the experience of living authentically in the moment.
Yeah.
And that nobody can tell you that it didn't work. And if they say I didn't like it, you can go, I don't care, it worked. That's another thing.
Yeah, well, that takes a lot of time in front of a camera and trying to, because people that see you are also wanting that to happen well,
Well, the other thing is that most people who watch things like this, they don't know, they really don't know what they're talking about. They are viewing it as a audience member watching a TV show or a movie.
Yeah,
that's immediately they go there like that.
They don't know how to fix it. Yeah.
Well, no, of course they don't know how to fix it. It's not their job to fix it. It's their job to enjoy it. It's like eating soup. You're eating the soup and you go, I don't like the soup. It tastes terrible. It doesn't work.
The actor really, it's there to propose something that it works.
Yeah, well,
that's the job of an acting. You cannot think that any director can do that.
No, it's not their job.
It's not their job.
Particularly young directors or inexperienced directors.
Yeah.
Young experienced directors and then directors who've been doing it for a while, and they know the most important thing is are the people that they're going to choose to do it.
Yes, exactly.
That's
the
it.
Casting.
That's the curious. The film that we watched last night, the first thing you go is the actors are amazing, but they're amazingly chosen.
Yeah, amazingly chosen and amazingly directed.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much for today.
Yeah, and we'll be back this week, the same bat time at the same bat channel.
Bye-bye.
Lovely to see you. Love to all. Bless. Bye. Oh, I hope you two enjoyed the play. Thank you, Crystal.
Yes.
Thank you.
Enjoyed it.
And Jasmina says thank you. It's very kind of you. And we'll see each other soon. Bye for now.